Whilst in Jakarta, I was being told about people in my village in Java losing money to a toyol. Apparently, the toyol was owned by a man from up the mountain, always assumed to be the source of trouble, who brought the toyol when he dropped his children off at our local school. Many complained of having lost money at night, sometimes quite a lot, and often well hidden or even under lock and key. Workmen had lost money from their back pockets shortly after being paid. The local store had lost money from its till. Yanni was concerned that I might have lost any money I kept in the house, a house that we'd entrusted her to whilst we were in Jakarta. But when I arrived back, all my money was still where I had left it. You might well ask why I keep money at home. Well, I've been told by my bank the banks are going to stop dispensing money through ATMs, necessitating a lengthy wait at the cashiers. Certainly in Jakarta, around 67% of ATMs have already disappeared, creating large queues at those ATMs which still exist. The Indonesian government's handling of the health crisis suggests that no consideration will be given to the lives of ordinary people, and such changes imposed regardless of its practicality, which in areas like rural Java means completely impractical. Furthermore, as a foreigner, I'm not allowed to have a credit card and have come to rely once again on cash. Thus I have a quantity of crisp notes in both houses for emergencies. In fact, in Jakarta, quite a sizable sum had gone missing. This was repeated many times, no matter how carefully I hid the money and the key to where it was hidden. With each time, the list of suspects was shortening until it only left my youngest daughter. This is exactly how the toyol plays on one's mind. I now accept that whilst the first sum was stolen, the others I had imagined as a result of my paranoia. The toyol is known by different names across Southeast Asia. The Malay word is toyol, and whereas it's toyol in Indonesia, thuyul in Javanese, and kecit in Sundanese. It's also known as a cohen kroh in Khmer and kwee in Hokkien. In Thai, the male is called the kuman-thong or kuman-thong, whilst the female is known as the kuman-lay. A similar creature exists in Philippine mythology, known as a tiyanak. The myth of the bald ghost who steals money has been around since the 1880s, but the term toyol only appeared in 1929, after the crisis of the Great Depression. The toyol is traditionally and commonly described as looking no different from a near-naked toddler wearing a loincloth. However, regional differences can account for variation in appearance and characteristics. The toyol is claimed to look like a normal child with the exception of sharp teeth and red eyes. But the Indonesian toyol has the addition of green skin and pointed ears. The toyol has the ability to scale walls and climb roofs. Modern depictions give the toyol a goblin-like appearance with green or grey skin, pointed ears and clouded eyes. The toyol's behaviour and personality is typically said to be that of a playful child, where it enjoys sweets, toys and clothes. Its small size and childish tendencies are said to render it harmless, although behavioural characteristics can differ across the region. For example, the kuman-thong and kuman-lay are said to be more benevolent, and unlike the toyol, whose owner has to tame, these Thai spirits do not need sacrifices nor rituals to be done in order to invoke their services. Whilst widely known to help its guardian pilfer, the toyol carries out other mischievous acts when commanded. However, the toyol is said to only steal half a person's valuable belongings. Owners of toyol have to train them to do their bidding. They're shown what money is and how much they should take. This training requires owners to provide toyol with gifts such as sweets or toys. Owning a toyol is not to be taken lightly, and they require regular attention, including being played with. Owners cannot simply dispose of them once they are no longer needed. They must be given or sold to a new owner who will care for them, or the toyol will return to the original owner. People protect their money from toyol by placing toys around the money to distract the toyol, or wrap a mirror so that they will play with their shadow. Some wrap their money in dirty underwear in the hope that this will put off the toyol. It's also believed that toyol are trained to recognise money with a rubber band around it, so do not use rubber bands to secure money. Other precautionary measures include putting needles under the bed. Needles are believed to prick the toyol's feet when it tries to steal money at night. Scattering green beans on the floor. Toyol is said to really like green beans and will be so busy picking them up that they forget to steal. Installing a mirror on the wall. The toyol will be reflected in the mirror and will be afraid of seeing its own reflection. Keeping crabs. Crabs are believed to be able to catch toyol because they have strong claws. Using amulets or talisman contain certain prayers or mantras, are believed to be able to protect the home from toyol disturbances. One of the most frequently cited signs of money mysteriously disappearing without any signs of theft. For example, you might have just put your money in a safe place, but when you check again, it's gone. This can be suspicious if it happens suddenly, especially no one else seems involved or suspicious. Sometimes people report that missing money isn't actually missing, but rather that its location has changed. For example, money that was previously in a wallet or a specific location suddenly appears further away or in an unexpected location. Some people attribute this change in position to a toyol searching for or stealing money undetected. Many stories tell of toyol working at night when it's quiet and people are less alert. Some believe that if money goes missing while sleeping or when the house is unguarded, it could be the work of a toyol. At such times, the toyol is said to be able to operate more freely without detection. Some people who experience the mysterious disappearance of money report feeling strange or uneasy before or after the incident. These feelings are often associated with the mystical atmosphere surrounding the disappearance, which for some could be a sign of a toyol at work. If you find yourself repeatedly losing small amounts of money and there's no rational explanation, such as theft or negligence, some might be attributed to a toyol. Some who believe this myth believe that toyols operate consistently stealing money little by little without being noticed. Belief in the toyol, and by extension child supernatural creatures, has links to the common Asiatic belief that every being consists of a soul, including that of babies. The many similarities between Southeast Asian countries have also been remarked to be a sign of the nation's close cultural ties. Traditionally, toyol were believed to be made from a dead baby or fetus, although now they're more likely to be made of small parts of animals or metal. In Thailand, modern kuman-thong are often extremely lifelike dolls, regularly seen carried by owners on the BTS. Whereas in Indonesia, toyol are carried behind the back of the owner, with the owner crossing his hands, rather like Prince Philip used to do. According to legend, toyol are usually obtained through mystical or worshipful means, whereby a person seeking to possess a toyol must make a pact with a supernatural being or undergo a specific ritual. Once possessed, the toyol is believed to carry out various orders from its masters, particularly tasks such as stealing money or valuables from others. Due to its mystical nature, Toyol are often seen as symbols of risky get-rich-quick schemes, as they're said to carry out a price, whether in the form of an offering or even negative effects on their lives. Aside from the belief in the supernatural, the toyol serves a range of social functions, including acting as a disciplinary tool to assist in maintaining social hierarchy and ward off perceived outsiders from the community. It is not an uncommon occurrence for people to associate those with wealth and success to having a toyol, and this negative association is extended to even government officials. These stories of corruption and immorality have been theorised to be a method of negating dissonance, where through associating social status with the supernatural, it allows for the people to believe and accept that the matter is beyond their control. The toyol remains widely used in a variety of ways and various mediums, including via games, literature and television. These point to a society and community that continues to hold sustained belief in the existence of toyol and other supernatural entities, where to them such folklore contributes a part of their lived reality. Similar legend is that of the Babinet, a boar demon in Indonesian mythology. Babinet are commonly known in Java and Bali, especially in Chinese Indonesian populations. The creature is believed to have been the manifestation of a person practicing Pesugian, babi black magic. Pesugian is derived from the Javanese word sugi, meaning rich. It's a kind of magic to make people become rich instantly, but in exchange they must sacrifice something. In this case, they must sacrifice their humanity, allowing themselves to be transformed into a boar for some time, or allowing themselves to be possessed by a boar demon. Some myths tell of a man enveloped in black robes who miraculously transforms into a creature. After the transformation, the demon boar roams the village, scratching his body against walls, doors, cupboards and furniture. Magically, the belongings of the village, such as money, gold and jewellery, disappear and are carried away by the Babinet. If the mission is successful, by the time the Babinet safely returns home and transforms back into a human form, the black robes will be filled with the stolen money and jewellery. The person that practices Babinet black magic needs assistance from another person. The assistant's task is to stay home and guard the lit candle floating on a basin of water while the Babinet is in action. If the candle flame is shaking, fading or almost out, it is the sign that the Babinet is in danger, caught in the act by villagers, or turned back into their human form. Because of this belief, Javanese villagers often chase, even kill, any boar wandering around the village at night. The association of the boar with magic concerning fortune probably originated from Javanese pre-Islamic and pre-Hindu Buddhist beliefs that associate boar with domestic richness, fortunes and prosperity, similar to its connection with Celengang, which means piggy bank in Javanese. The word Celengang is derived from the word Celeng, which means boar. In the 1870s, the Dutch introduced an open door policy, or economic liberalisation, replacing the forced cultivation system. At first glance, this change was considered a breath of fresh air, as it was believed to improve the welfare of the people. Economic liberalisation is considered to have given birth to a new colonial regime, in which people's plantations were taken over to be converted into large plantations and sugar factories. The situation further depressed the lives of the people, especially small farmers in Java, who were sinking deeper into poverty. because they no longer had control of their plantation land. On the other hand, there were also people who prospered from this system. They were the traders, both the indigenous and Chinese, who quickly became the nouveau riche. Their rapid rise in wealth then raised eyebrows amongst the increasingly impoverished farmers. Farmers wondered where their wealth came from. A society with strong mystical outlook makes farmers view the theft as collaboration between rich people and supernatural and invisible creatures, one of which is the toyol. The farmers' hatred for those who suddenly became rich didn't just affect personal relationships. The way the wealthy traded also changed. The wealthy tended to purchase items that belied their true wealth, such as gold or luxury goods. If they purchased land or a house, they were accused by the farmers of keeping demons or a toyol spirit. In a health crisis, most people in Indonesia were left without a means of survival. Those with farms were relatively safe, but most people survive on their wits in the informal economy. Banks took advantage of this distress by offering loans to people who had no realistic way of paying them back. Maybe they'd lied to the banks about their ability to earn money, were simply deluded. The banks certainly were irresponsible. This has resulted in major debt problems in Indonesia. Employment has never really recovered from the health crisis, and opportunities in the informal economy are becoming scarcer. In part, this reflects how big business has eaten into the informal economy through ride-hailing apps, online retailing, and the saturation of convenience stores. And banks are somewhat ruthless in their debt collection. And if this fails, employ professional debt collectors who literally wait outside people's homes until they emerge, sometimes for days. Neighbours have borrowed money from neighbours and family to repay banks. This has resulted in major distrust and a fracturing of traditional communities. Thus, does this explain the toyol? I have to conclude that yes, it does.